Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. It is Tuesday morning, less than 30 hours away from the Fed meeting, and all eyes are on what the Fed's going to do. But I don't really want to talk about that today, since we're going to talk about that plenty tomorrow, and we talked about it plenty yesterday. Today, I want to talk about the theory that I have seen this story play out time and time again. Silver goes up and then it gets beat back down and it never really takes off. It's like Groundhog's Day. I can agree where people might see that, but I can also disagree why that is not going to happen that way. However, just like in Groundhog's Day, it did come to an end, and so won't the manipulation on precious metals. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Your comments help produce these videos. It gives me ideas. I spend more time trying to figure out what to make a video on than it takes me to produce the actual video. And hit that thumbs up button because it really helps out the algorithm. And if you want to become a member, you can join our membership. Currently, it's $1.99. You can hit that little join button right below the video. If you have any questions about it, you can email me. But a lot of cool perks with becoming a member. In fact, every month you have a shot at winning a free prize, because we do members events every month, and someone walks away with a really cool coin. Our next goal is 150 members. Once we get to it, we're going to be giving away this as the prize. If we don't hit it, then the winner of the October event can take any 1 ounce they see here. Or maybe I'll have something even better up there by then. And if you happen to win the San Francisco Eagle MS69 and you don't like it, let me know and I can work out some kind of a trade with that individual. I can't put a million offers up because I don't know what everybody likes, but the prize is for whoever ends up winning it. So with that being said, let's jump in and talk about this. So even in Groundhog's Day, yeah, it happened over and over and over again. Endless cycle. And then eventually it came to an end. And here's the thing. This manipulation that we're seeing and we've seen is going to eventually come to an end. When it comes to an end, there's no going back. I mean, you think about a movie like Groundhog's Day. For those of you that haven't seen it, every night he goes to bed. Every morning, it's like the day never happened. And it just continues over and over and over again. You know, he eventually started utilizing that time to kind of better his life. He takes piano lessons. He does all these different things to become a better person. And it's kind of like that in stacking. These little dips that we've been seeing, you know, it's funny because here in America, we're at an advantage, but we're at a disadvantage. We're at an advantage because we have an opportunity to pick up the cheapest silver and gold really in the world, in my opinion. And what do I mean by that? We don't have nearly the high premiums that other places, other countries have. We have easy money to a certain point compared to other countries. Yes, the products we buy are a lot more expensive, but we have opportunity to keep stacking. It's an opportunity. I've seen hundreds of comments that you guys don't know how lucky you are to be able to stack. And trust me, I know how lucky we are to stack. All throughout history, people have worked for literally 1/10 of an ounce of silver a day. Think about that for a minute. This is not quite 1/10, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's a 14th. And throughout history, people have worked for that. And here's the thing. People still work for that. They still work for that in places like the Philippines. I know some people will try to argue because government puts out funny numbers. But in the Philippines, a lot of people work and make less than $100 a month. Think about that. $100 a month. And, you know, here they are struggling to make ends meet. We're lucky. We're lucky. We have an opportunity to put away that little 1/10 of an ounce of silver really every day. And I really, you know, I hear the comments all the time. I don't have the money to get started stacking right now or whatever. You know, I think everybody does have the ability to start stacking. They just have to stack small increments. A silver dime, like what you see in the center of the screen right there, these. You can pick those up for $2.25. I could go to the park, pick up aluminum cans and collect $2.25 in aluminum. Now, I mean, we're all in different positions in life to stack. Not everybody is going to be stacking full ounces every day. Not everybody's going to be stacking an ounce of gold here and there when they can. Some people are stacking more, some people are stacking less. But you have an opportunity to, because eventually the manipulation will come to an end. And when it does come to an end, there's no going back. You know, in the movie Groundhog's Day, you know, he eventually did take advantage of those days. And it was good because when it eventually stopped, he woke up that morning essentially thinking it was just going to be another start over, and it wasn't. And eventually you're going to wake up from one morning and you're going to see silver jumped, and then you're going to wake up the next morning and see it jump some more, and then you're going to sit there and you're going to wait for that pullback, and you're going to say, I'll just wait, I'll stop buying, and when the pullback comes, I'll buy, and then the pullback ain't going to come. It's sad for the people that are on the sidelines waiting. Now, I've said already, do I think there will be a pullback? Statistically, if things continue to repeat themselves the way they have, we should see a pullback within the next 2 weeks. Before the month comes to an end, it's the end of the third financial quarter, we should see a pullback. Why? Because the short positions have to clear out. However, a day is going to come where we're going to expect that, and it's not going to happen. Now, do I think this will be the time? It could be. Most likely it won't be. Most likely we will see that pullback. The problem is we're seeing a nice little jump right now with the buildup and the anticipation of the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting is going to throw out either a rate cut, a rate standstill. I doubt they would raise interest rates. The big question is, how much of a rate cut will they do? Some people are saying 0.25%. That was priced in early. And then all of a sudden, they said it will be 0.5%, and a lot of people's half percent prediction got priced in. So I think that if they end up cutting 0.25%, it won't take long before we see a little bit of a pullback. And that's a good thing. I'm not worried about pullbacks anymore. You know, there was a time when it would pull back and I would buy a little more, but I'd still be discouraged. Now, it's just a buying opportunity to me. Pullbacks just means you can get cheaper silver. People are getting smarter about it. Some people I know, they sell a little bit of silver every week to help offset their Social Security, their income. And because they're selling a little bit every week, that money is basically going to help subsidize their living. And I've noticed that some of these people have stopped selling in the dips because they recognize it. I actually was watching a video where they were talking about flea markets and coin stores and stuff. And, you know, you go to these firearm pew-pew shows, and a lot of people have set bottoms. They're not going to sell for less than whatever the number is. Most of the time, the number is they're not selling less than 30. But there's still opportunity even at picking up $30 silver. I mean, I would have a hard time turning down $30 silver, especially if spot is not far from $30. Now, right now, good luck finding $30 silver because we've got $30.50 spot price. And then usually people want to get a little bit of premium. So they will tack on $1 or $2 on that. Pretty easy. And they won't have a problem getting it. Because there are a lot of people that are new to stacking and they're picking up what they can when they can. The opportunity is there for a lot of people. And a lot of people are going to miss it because it's easy to get frustrated with the same old beatdown. And, you know, we see it. And it discourages us, but then there's people. What I'm trying to do in these videos is not just educate people, but I'm also trying to educate people and keep their confidence up, because we will see silver go up. It's not even a I hope, it's a I know. I mean, big banks, you think big banks are shorting silver for any particular reason? They're shorting it so they can buy up physical. They put the paper contracts out, they buy up a bunch to beat down the price, then they buy up a bunch of physical, and they put it up. You know, there's no reason why anybody would want to manipulate the silver lower unless it was to get more of it. I wish I could manipulate the gas price so whenever I go gas up, I could get my gas cheaper. I wish I could manipulate my food prices so whenever I go and buy groceries, I could get them cheaper. They know that this is working. But here's another way you can look at it. If they want to manipulate silver prices down, and they can do it indefinitely, why would silver be at $30 right now? There's no reason. They would have kept it at 15, 17, 20, 22, 25, but now it's at 30. Why? Because they're losing their grip. Each time they manipulate it, they lose a lot of fiat currency. This happens every quarter. Every quarter they're losing a bunch of fiat currency. They're losing money. It's no big deal, though, because if they lose money, what happens? Well, they just write it off. Anybody that knows the business world knows that write-offs is everything. And so if you lose money, who cares? You just write it off. And then what happens? You gain some physical silver. And that's the way the game is played. And eventually they know the physical silver is going to be where it's at. And don't think for a minute that when silver really does skyrocket, don't think that these companies can't funnel it where they want to and not get in trouble. I mean, they do it all legitly, of course. They sell their assets and then they could bankrupt the company with their trash that's left over. The paper, the debt, the short positions, and, oh, well, we lost all of our money. Either give us a bailout or we're bankrupt. And meanwhile, they sell off the assets to one bigger company that holds all that. I don't want to get too political, but the rules are in place. The rules are designed to make the elites win. It's not made for us. I had someone tell me the other day that if one particular candidate gets in office in November, he gets voted, he or she gets voted in. I don't want to tell you which candidate I'm talking about because I don't want it to be a political thing. I have my political preferences, yes, but I try not to be political on here too much. Will things get better if that person wins? Define better. I mean, no matter who comes in, they're going to be printing the fire presses. They're going to be printing as much money as they can. The difference is, what's the money going to go to? That's pretty much what it comes down to. To a certain point, yeah, I think one candidate is better than the other. I'm not trying to push my politics. I actually learned that early on, helping a lady who was extremely one side. And I helped her get into silver. And when I started explaining my political viewpoints, she was quick to stop me there. She goes, look, stick to the monetary aspect. That's what I'm listening to you for. I don't want to hear your political your political opinions. And I was like, darn. But you know what? If someone is gaining your information and, you're helping them and maybe you're getting some kind of perk for doing it, you kind of got to roll with it. And, I learned early on, too, that, you don't talk politics and religion at work. So I try to stay more neutral, even though I would be willing to bet 95% of the people that watch these videos probably go one way politically. But the truth of the matter is the whole system is rigged. The money is manipulated. They can't, if they raise your taxes too much, what do you think's going to happen? You ain't going to vote for them. It's easier just for them to just print more money out of thin air and steal it from you. Steal it from you through inflation. And then they can say the inflation is always somebody else's fault. It's either country's fault for putting tariffs on our stuff. It's greedy corporations' fault. It's greedy individuals' fault. There's a million things that they try to tell us. And the truth of the matter is, inflation comes down to one thing. It's money creation. They want to try to keep us and get us to 2% and keep us there. You know what? Why is 2% good? What makes 2% inflation good? Nothing. Inflation is bad. There's no way around it. Oh, well, it makes the value of our homes go up. Why? So you can pay more in taxes? Oh, well, it makes the vehicles go up in price, so you'll get more when you go to sell it. Why? So when you buy another one, you can pay more in taxes and pay more for a vehicle? There's nothing good about inflation. All it does is cost you more money in everyday life. And the truth of the matter is, who does it help? Well, it helps people that have assets like gold and silver, property, real estate, stocks. But the truth of the matter is the average everyday people doesn't have that. I mean, most of us in the community, we have a little bit of a silver collection, and that silver collection helps offset the inflation that we're going to feel on our energy, our gas, our food, our everyday items that we need. Oh yeah, there's not much inflation in designer clothes. How many of us are going out buying designer clothes on a daily basis? I mean, I'm wearing some of the same clothes that I had years ago. Actually I had someone make a joke. Well, we won't even go there. But yeah, it's inflation. It's there. And I want people to realize that once you start investing in gold and silver, you're almost utilizing that in your favor. Because here's the thing, if inflation goes up, the assets are going up. Gold and silver is an asset. Why do you think the elite families have a lot of their money in gold and silver? You take some of the richest families in the world, in their estates, they're holding huge amounts of gold and silver. That's why certain rules you'll probably never see implemented. I'm not even convinced that you'll see, I don't really think we'll see that unrealized gains tax come about, the one that we talked about yesterday. I'm not entirely convinced it would come about because I think it would hit a lot of people. And it would be tough to write off that kind of money. 10 years of inflation on your house, how do you pass that off? I mean, there's a lot of people in Congress that see through that, and I don't think they would pass it. I really don't. And if they did, I think a lot of people would be frustrated. They'd have to probably sell their house. You'd see the whole housing market tank. I actually was listening to one really interesting talk the other day where they were talking about inflation. And, if we get a lot of inflation and we get a lot of unemployment, that would be a good thing, they tried saying. And I was like, what? How is that a good thing? And they said because if everything costs more, people will start downgrading what they purchase. Instead of buying steak, they buy hamburger. Instead of buying lobster and shrimp and lobster, you'd be buying pollock, or what do they call it? Pollock, or some kind of cheap fish. But I don't believe that. Inflation, there's no way around it. Inflation's not good. I mean, what would be really good is if we went back to the old money system where money is gold and silver. But here's the thing, it's hard to control that. And that's why I don't think they will launch that either. Now, the last thing I'll touch briefly on so everybody is aware of it, what's going on with the Fed. So the Fed meeting, we should be getting news from the Fed on if they're going to raise interest rates on Wednesday. So tomorrow, like I said earlier, in about 30 hours. You guys are probably watching this between 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I put it up at 6 every morning. But 7 or 8, you're probably watching this. That's when a lot of the views seem to come in. And literally tomorrow, we're going to hear what's going to happen. I personally think they're going to do a 0.25% interest rate cut. If they do a 0.5%, that will be amazing for precious metals. Because there's a lot right now. A lot of this recent jump that we've seen is speculation. I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. I even think early money was the one that flooded into it, which means I think we will probably see a nice little jump. But don't be surprised to see a pullback before the month comes to an end when those short positions that are on the market have to clear. So with that being said, we're going to talk more about the Fed meeting probably on Wednesday, maybe on Thursday. I have been putting a lot of short videos up, 1-minute videos. If you could, go and check them out. Hit thumbs up on them videos, especially because they're only a quick minute. A lot of good information packed into 1-minute videos that could really make a difference and help you out. And again, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're not a member, consider it. It's a great opportunity for only $1.99. And the events that we do are awesome, and it really does help out the channel. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are buying right now. You're still stacking. I'm not saying go all in right now, but I am saying for the people out there that are still waiting for some sort of a pullback and they're not going to buy until they don't have any, be very mindful that if you don't have any, you could get burned if things do start deteriorating. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in this country that can drastically have a big effect on precious metals, and we'll see how it plays out. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.